Hey everyone, Luxinda Swirl here. So I thought it was time to go back to my never-ending mountain of boxes. I swear these things are in here breeding when I'm not looking. And I wanted to try doing a hydro dipping with one of these. So I looked through my collection, my vast collection, and I saw this old thing, which still has good hinges and a good latch, and it fits together. The lid is not crooked or anything, but otherwise I think everybody would agree that this is the sorriest looking box. And it won't matter if I screw it up. So we are going to paint it with some primer and do some hydro dipping. Stay tuned. Hey buddy, we're back. I cleaned up the box as best I could, and it wasn't easy. That was a very filthy box, but I used some alcohol, I used dish detergent and water, I used magic eraser sponges. I tried some of everything, and I'm not sure I could ever get all the dirt off, but I did my best. And then I sanded it, and then I put double thick layers of liquid latex on the hinges and on the latch so that I can peel everything that gets on those three places off easily later on when we're all done. And then I spray painted it with Rust-Oleum 2X in the color Lagoon because I thought that would be pretty blue, sort of dark teal-ish. And now we are going to take it out on the deck and do some hydro dipping. And the colors I've chosen, we're going to get really complicated here. Gold, black, here, it's easier to see the colors if I turn the bottles over. Silver, because why not? What is this? Lavender, Rosita green, which is a nice light green, and pink. I thought all of those things would combine really prettily with this as the backdrop. So we're going to go out and we are going to hydro dip this, it might be a little tricky. My only concern is it won't pick up any hydro dip paints wherever I'm holding it, and there's not really a convenient handle. So you may see me try a two-handed if I can grip it from both corners on the side. I just don't want to have my fingerprints all over the top. The other option is I do this anyway, and then I try later on to turn it around and hydro dip the end that had my fingers on it to begin with, and I don't know if that works or not. So we're going to give these things a try, and I'll be with you again momentarily out on the deck. Okay, here we go. We are out on the deck. We have our bucket. It is pretty well cleaned out. I already cleaned it with a strainer, but I see tiny little bits. So we'll just try and convince them to go over there. All right. Now, I have shaken the bottles of paint, so we are just going to drip, marble with the skewer, and then dip our box and hope that it goes well. Silver. Black. Pink. Violet, or lavender, I guess. Lavender. Rosita green. My deck is getting a good painting. And gold. All right. Marble it. Stick it to the sides. Spread it out. And here we go. I don't know what to do. Here we go. It's interesting. I like actually the bottom that turned out better than the top. So I think what I'm going to do is blow dry it, wait for it to dry a little bit, and then we are going to do another dip. Hey buddy, we're back. The box is dried off enough that we can re-dip it. This is the top. I really like how this turned out, and I love how the back turned out. And I think what I did was I was holding it like this, and I did it like that. So the back got most of the paint, and the front got a little bit. So now that we're going to redip, I am going to turn it over and go this corner first, which means I hope that most of the new wave of paints will show up here on the top, which is going to be on the bottom when I do the dip. And we will hope to get really good coverage. You probably can't see this in the camera, but there is a wonderful gold and silver sheen thanks to the two metallics we've got here. I think it looks lovely. I think I'm going to try and go a little heavier on the lavender. Pink's fine, maybe a little less of the green. And we will dip again and see what we get. Let's get our inks ready to go. Gold. A little black. A little green, if there's any left. Good bit of lavender. Good bit of pink. And some silver. And we will marble it. Tack it to the side. Okay, and hopefully we will dip this correctly. Okay, this is the top going in first. Well, that's not exactly what I had in mind, but it's not bad. All right. Again, I like the bottom better. Okay. Well, blow dry it off and we'll move on to the next step. Hey everybody, Luxinda Swirl, we're back. I wanted to bring you up to speed and show you the end result of the Hydro Dip box. And the next thing I did, after the last thing you saw, which was me hydro dipping, was I let it dry for a few days. And then I thought, what am I going to do with the top of the box? I mean, it was pretty. Just a reminder, here's the bottom. It's very pretty, but I don't know, I wanted to embellish it somehow and I really wasn't sure what to do. So my first thought was to take some of my new printed vinyl for inkjet printers in matte, and I thought, you know, maybe butterflies. Maybe butterflies would be cool if I could get the right colors that would complement the colors we used on the box. And I could put butterflies maybe around the four corners and then name in the middle or a saying of some sort. I thought that might be neat. So I printed out, this is a very lousy example, but I printed one out. I was going to see if I could find some other really pretty like stained glass butterflies on the internet and print those out. But then I thought, well, you know what? Let's see if we have any vinyl that might be appropriate. So I went to my collection that I got in my 651vinyl.com grab box a few months back. I went through everything and I pulled out these sheets. And I found this pretty purple, sparkly holographic, so holographic glitter. But I thought this was kind of overwhelming. I don't think it doesn't go exactly, but it overwhelms the colors on the box lid. So I put that aside. And I thought, well, let's see what we can do with the pink. Oh my gosh, look at this. Another glitter holographic, and it's a little too hot. It is very hot pink. And while it's pretty, again, I would think it totally overshadows. So then I found this, which is a sheet of basically mermaid. And I thought, well, okay, so butterfly, mermaid, and I thought the scales honestly made it too busy that it would conflict with the busyness of the paint. So then I thought, well, there's silver in here. How about silver? Just straight up silver. And I thought, well, okay, that's a possibility, but it might be too plain. And then I found this. It is pink. There's no glitter in it. Let's see if I can find the pink part. It's pink with just holographic. So it shows all the different colors depending on how you move it around, but it's basically light pink, very much like the light pink of our box. So I was going to show you this whole process. I designed it I found a graphic for a butterfly SVG file. I searched free butterfly SVG file on the internet, found one I liked, brought it up into my Cricut design space, sized it, had it cut out by my Cricut machine. I weeded it, I put it on transfer tape. I was going to show you me putting it on the box. And I'm kind of glad I didn't in retrospect because it was a bear. It wanted to stay with the transfer tape. It absolutely did not want to stick to the box. And I spent an awful lot of time sighing, swearing, and wishing I had decided to do something completely different. But patience, which I don't have a lot of, finally prevailed. And here is where we ended up. This is the top of the box now. It has a beautiful pink-based holographic butterfly, which I think goes very nicely with the paint colors we picked for the hydro dipping. Once I got the butterfly on there and secured in place, I covered it with 3 coats on all sides and the bottom, 3 coats of Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover Gloss Clear, which I think gives it, I don't know if you can see this on here, the butterfly is certainly shinier, but the box is also shiny now. So the only thing that's left, and the one thing I saved to try and do here on camera, we'll see if I have success with this, is to take the liquid latex layer off the latches, or off the latch and the 2 hinges on the back. Now, in theory, picking this off will expose the original latches, which I covered, or I'm sorry, I cleaned and tried to brighten up a little bit. I didn't go whole hog with steel wool or anything, but I tried to make them look a little nicer than they did originally. And then I put this liquid latex on them, and in theory, I can pick this off now. I'm using a Cricut weeding tool. It has a nice sharp point on it. I just have to pull all of this off, which is going to take a while, obviously, and expose the original latch underneath. Hey buddy, we're back. That took way more time than I thought it would, and it's not a particularly beautiful job. Unfortunately, the hardware on this box, because it's just a cigar box, it wasn't intended to be, you know, a jewelry box that would last into heirloom status. So these pieces of hardware are not meant to come off. If they were, I would have taken them off prior to doing any of this and left them separate and then put them back on. But there's no screw. I think these are just glued on. You can't go to the inside of the box, which is, by the way, still filthy, and you know, unscrew it from the back like you could a really nice jewelry box or something. So I'm going to paint the inside at some point, but the outside is done. If anybody has a better way of covering the hardware than the liquid latex that I used, please leave me a comment below. I'm willing to try just about everything. I tried acetone, I tried scraping, that got the most off. I tried pulling little bits off with tape, and that got a little bit off. But basically, that was not easy. It worked, but it was not easy. So there it is, folks, our almost finished when I paint the inside box, but I wanted to come back and show you. I think this was mostly a success. I will try and find some other way of dealing with the hardware in the future, but I love the look. I love how it turned out. I think it will make a really nice trinket box or souvenir box or memento box for somebody who likes these colors and butterflies. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.